Let's talk about this leader that we've elected in the United States.
Right.
Speak to the audience. Tell them the mindset that you put into the presentation of Pig's three different ones.
We were running up to that election, and I did feel very strongly about it. And much as I disparage Hillary Clinton, and I do, I make no bones about it. And however big the questions are that I might have had, with Obama and the past administration, Donald Trump, I've watched this guy operating for the last 20 years.
Do you run the risk of helping him by going over the top?
No, I don't think help or hindering. We need to survive his presidency.
Right, but
because it's totally unpredictable. I don't think he knows what he's going to do for Monday.
I'm thinking of a few cultural touchstones recently. Yeah. I'm thinking of the Kathy Griffin ISIS-inspired photograph that she tweeted. Yeah. I'm thinking of the Caesar play in Central Park.
Yeah.
And it occurs to me that it plays into his hand insofar as he gets to say, look at these liberal entertainers and the liberal establishment, they're all against me. And insofar as the criticism is never ending, he's somewhat inoculated from it.
Well, maybe. This is the responsibility that you in the mainstream media have. Is to not allow this to be taken as seriously as it is. I mean, I've sort of stopped watching all the talking heads about Russiagate and this and that and the other because it seems to me largely irrelevant. There's a larger picture that we could maybe all be focusing on. The problem is that entertainment has got mixed up with news a lot in this country. And in consequence, you've got to keep, I'm not pointing a finger at you, but in general, my general sense is that everything has to be entertaining. And in consequence, Donald Trump's great for the mainstream media because he's such a buffoon that he's totally entertaining.
Is there any line you won't cross as you were putting together the tour?
Of course, I would never be violent in any way. My activism, such as it is, and my protest is always nonviolent.
Now you're a third of the way into the tour. How is it playing in the red states?
Great. The first 4 or 5 gigs, we started in Kansas City, and then we went Louisville, Tulsa, St. Louis, and that was a kind of, whoa, I wonder how this is going to be.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, for someone who's on the road, selling a new record, putting fannies in seats in stadiums, you're just completely unconcerned about the way that might be received by some of the very people that you wish to reach.
I'm not unconcerned at all.
I'm commercially concerned.
Well, you in life you have to make your choice as to whether you do the right thing or the thing that makes you the most money.
You've managed to do both.
Well, who knows how much money I could have made if I'd not made a fuss.
Do you think it's cost you?
I've no idea. Because American Express pulled out of this tour. That cost $4 million. That's a short-term thing. Mind you, they're still sponsoring the tour in Canada, so it's obviously not the whole corporation. It's like...
Roger, is it important to you that your fans, A, understand the message of your music, and B, that they agree with it?
Well, it's very important to me, and that's why the beginning of this tour, we've done 20 gigs so far, is so great, is that people are getting it.
To that person who's grown up loving the music, who doesn't share your worldview, do you still want to look into the audience and see them at this concert?
We have maybe 10 leave every night, and they go. I mean, I read the trolley stuff on my web page from time to time, and I go, this is no big surprise to me. But I do find it slightly surprising that anybody could have been listening to my songs for 50 years without understanding.
I know you feel abused.
What would you say to someone who is looking for escapism? They're not coming to a
Go and see Katy Perry, or watch the Kardashians. I don't care whatever you want to do, go and escape.
But if they're looking for escapism from politics, I guess the message is then the last place you should be is at a Roger Waters show.
Yeah. If you're looking for an escape from a connection with other people on this planet, If you want to be, you know, separated from your potential to empathize with others, if you want to live in an ivory tower, everybody's an enemy, and you need to build walls, and you've got to do a better deal with the Chinese or whatever it might be that this leader that you've elected thinks is a good idea, well, that's what you believe.
Well, Roger, I may as well tell you, 5 years removed from September 11, off by just a day or two, I came to Madison Square Garden and I watched you perform Dark Side of the Moon. And when the pig came out and had written on the side of it, habeas corpus matters, 5 years removed, I was in no mood for that message. Now, I will grant you that when Obama left office, and there were, I think the number was 41, still being held at Guantanamo with no charges having been filed against them. I'm an attorney. I'm deeply unsettled about that. 5 years removed, I wasn't. 15 years removed, most certainly I was. So
do you know what?
I'm one of those who's in the audience. I'm old enough to have read the liner notes, and I'm embarrassed at the times that I didn't quite comprehend what you were saying. I've never wavered in my support of the music. I think it's a healthy conversation to have. It's why I like being in your company, is because I like thinking about all these things, but I don't agree with you on all of them. I guess I just need to say that.
But you do agree with me about habeas corpus?
After that length of time, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, it's not right. It's not right that they should be held without charges.
This is why the rule of law is so important, because if we can figure out a rule of law, then that means that we are civilized, at least to some extent.
You enjoying yourself on the tour?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Is this the last go-round? You look great, but...
Here. I don't know if it is, you know, who knows? It maybe not. I don't know. We're like, all of this political stuff that you've been asking me, you know, it would be a lot easier to be on tour if I wasn't doing any of this, if I didn't have opinions.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being so gracious with your time.
Oh, Michael, I only wish we could sit here and talk about love more.